Most people can recall at least one time, and probably several times, that they were slighted and got the short end of the stick. And unsurprisingly, throughout the NHL, there's been multiple players and even members of management that have endured the same exact fate, except probably on a greater scale. Whether it was purely circumstantial or not, these select few have been at least at one point in time, as the saying goes, done dirty. In this video, I'm going to go over 3 instances where a player or management was treated unfairly. And with that, here are 2 players and a coach that were done dirty. Known as one of the most player-friendly coaches in the league, even though he currently doesn't hold a coaching title, Gallant has been behind the bench in some form or fashion for over 20 years. After landing his first head coach position with Columbus, nearly a decade later, Gallant was given his second with the Panthers in the Sunshine State. The move was thought to have been mutually beneficial, as Gallant had previously coached Panthers star Jonathan Huberdeau during his time in the QMJHL. The team was also granted the first selection shortly prior to Gallant's debut season with Florida in Barrie Colts superstar Aaron Ekblad, only adding to their newly cemented core. Although the first season under Gallant with the Panthers exempt from the playoffs, the PEI native was part of history, following his team's 2015-16 campaign, as the team under Gallant's leadership was able to have its best season statistically since it was founded, over 20 years prior, and was even able to top the Atlantic Division with an impressive 103 points. For his efforts, Gallant was even nominated for the Jack Adams, and apparently, the franchise at the time appreciated his efforts as well, as they decided to sign their head coach to a 3-year extension prior to the 2016-17 season beginning. But as the season began, it became increasingly clear that the team wasn't the same, as they struggled immensely to win games and to remain competitive. And even though Gallant accompanied his team to Raleigh, he would be leaving unemployed and alone. Following a close 3-2 loss at the hands of the Canes, the front office decided it was the perfect time to part ways with their bench boss. And according to multiple reports, including one from Business Insider, Gallant was completely deserted, forced to fetch his own luggage from the team bus, and even to call his own cab soon after. Cringeworthy, I know. While the incident sparked outrage instantly amongst the hockey world, the firing that seemed to come out of nowhere was possibly on the minds of those in the front office, more importantly GMs at the time, Tim Rose, as Gallant was reportedly butting heads over a select few moves that were made by Rowe, including the trade that involved Eric Gudbranson. The former coach was even quoted by ESPN admitting that his opinions could have cost him his job, saying, "I wasn't fired because of analytics. I loved coaching the Florida Panthers and I'm a stubborn guy at times. Maybe I said too much. Maybe I gave my opinion a little bit too much. Maybe when they asked for my opinion, I have an honest opinion, and sometimes it doesn't help you. Maybe it wasn't always what they wanted to hear. I don't know where it went from there," he says. Regardless, I think we can all agree that the following season with Vegas turned out to be much better for Gallant in the end. So what if I were to tell you a current goaltender in the league that was selected first overall in 2003 by Pittsburgh was replaced, left unprotected, selected by Vegas in the expansion draft, only to be completely replaced again? Yes, that actually happened, as potentially the most likable currently in the league in Marc-Andre has seen his net taken from him in 2 separate occasions. After winning a Stanley Cup in 2009 and spending over a decade with the team, Fleury, who went down with a concussion in 2016, was sidelined for the first half of the postseason with Pittsburgh. Despite coming back though during the Eastern Conference Finals, Fleury found himself watching his team make their first of 2 Stanley Cup runs from the bench, following a loss to the Tampa Bay Lightning. And for the first time since he took the reins in net, the Flyers' future remained uncertain. With the Vegas expansion on the horizon, Fleury was given one last opportunity in the 2017 playoffs to shine for Pittsburgh. After leading the Penguins most of the way, although, he was replaced yet again by Murray in the Eastern Conference Finals. And as we all know, the Penguins chose in turn to protect the younger netminder that had more recent success, and ultimately sent Fleury, after 13 seasons in the Steel City, to Vegas in the 2017 NHL expansion draft. And after helping to lead the Knights to the Stanley Cup final following his debut season with Vegas, a couple seasons later, what seemed like a reoccurring nightmare for the netminder just kept on going. Amid Fleury having an average season with a .905 save percentage and a 2.77 goals against average, the Golden Knights pursued Swedish goaltender Robin Lehner at the trade deadline. And even though Lehner only had time to play 3 games for his new team, Upon the Knights entering the bubble, it had become blatantly clear who the team's starting netminder was. After Leonard was able to prove himself in such a short time frame to management, he was granted a lengthy 5-year, $25 million contract this offseason for his efforts. Reportedly on the trading block himself at the present time, Marc-Andre Fleury has definitely taken all of the adversity with a smile, as he always does. His agent Alan Walsh, however, not so much. And finally, one of the most bizarre and questionable trades to have come about in a long time was the one that sent Brandon Manning to Alberta, as Manning had been widely known as the franchise player Connor McDavid's biggest rival, and for good reason. In case you don't know this tale that's been told many times, allow me to fill you in with a quick synopsis. Connor McDavid comes into the league hopeful for the Calder, only to be injured after being tripped by none other than Brandon Manning. Manning denies any intent to injure number 97 at first, while the injury dramatically shortened McDavid's season, causing him to miss nearly half of it. The rivals then reunited next season in Philly during a regular season game, and according to the captain, that's when Manning finally revealed that Connor's injury was no accident at all. Wow, this just got some real Lion King vibes though, am I right?
And here's my little secret. I killed Mufasa.
Anyways, that took a dark turn. This, of course, elicited a response from McDavid similar to Simba's, except it involved a goal. As McDavid netted a power play goal, he was sure to chirp his adversary then and later to the media. But I get it. I'd be pissed too. Regardless, now maybe you'll understand how strange and outright insensitive Peter Chiarelli's move really was nearly 2 years after Edmonton's captain learned the truth. As the GM, in an attempt to save his job, threw in a last-ditch effort with no forethought at all or consideration. Even still, McDavid handled it like a champ, and according to Manning, welcomed him via text to the team. But, as we all know, Manning didn't last long. After he showed his true colors not only to McDavid, but also to the wrong person. Karma's just great, isn't it?